thing live. We are live and in the flesh. Yo, this is Infinito 2017. 1, 2, check, 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 check. Can you hear me? And I am doing this as a test run for a project I'm creating with my main man, Cool D, Dion Brown, where we explore the history and the making of the mini albums by Infinito 2017, Joe Left Hand, Cool D, the compilations, the Nephew of Frank Records, the Egrux era, the Domination era, the Fat Beats release, the Culture Power 45, and this is just a test for me to see how this works, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here to present some of the sample projects that I'll be showing. This record was actually on sale at Beat Parlor in Chicago, if you all know about Beat Parlor. So what happened with, like, let's say this CD, it was on consignment and nobody bought it. So I went and got it and was reselling it on the street. And a lot of the resale things I didn't try to resell because I want to keep it for my collection. So that one's cracked. But this one is good. This one I'll probably walk down the street a little further or in the area, Dr. Wax. Because if I'm up north, either I was walking around and taking the train or I was driving my Saturn. I had a Saturn back then. And things like this album, MCML, No Love in My Circle. Interesting. Some of this stuff I haven't saw in a minute. And look at this album. I think this is the first time I featured my cousin, Fat Nice, on a record. I was a wild boy. Look at that. And then this one, I know this cover, and I think Rift from Necrobats took this cover. It was at the Burger King at a Necrobats meeting. But yeah, that's my middle name, Portrait of a Lyrical Killer. And that derived from Henry, Portrait of a, we're not going to go there. But yeah. Yeah, I probably have, I have a lot of albums, and I'm talking about over the 3,000 mark at this point, because every week, month, day, I'm creating something new. And a lot of this stuff I will never release. But back in the day, when I was on the street, just slanging CDs hand to hand and putting them in the stores and putting them on the online hip hop stores and all this type of stuff, man, you couldn't tell me to stop or slow down releasing music. Like, I would literally take the picture on the train. That's probably the blue line. Going to the studio up north. And that was the cover, front and back. Bam. All I do is make albums. Ain't that a coincidence? Look at it. But I will talk about things like the DVDs I made. I made a bunch of movies, and the books I've written, the journals, the magazines I've created, just about anything. But I found this interesting in the stash. Cherry Bomb. So I used to make videos probably dating all the way back to like 95. I think my first camera I got in like 1990 something. The good camera with the VHS tape could go inside. But I had one, I think it was called a PXL, like right there at the turn of the 80s and 90s. And I've always been shooting myself. So I've been shooting videos of myself since videos were possible for me. From the VHS to the Betamax to whatever type of camera they had, even little tapes and all of that type of stuff. I've even shot videos on a Bolex, music videos, short films, 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter, whatever type of film that exists, I probably shot with it. But this thing, Cherry Bomb, they used to feature different artists on their projects, and they featured me on a bunch of their free giveaways. If you could see in Chicago, they had the Silver Room on here, Earwax, Melting Pot, all type of local venues would give these out for free. Visit one of these businesses to pick up your free copy. And this is a free DVD, and it had my video, Cats Can't See Me. And that video, I think I shot part of it on the red line going down, like on State Street, where you go down the escalator. And the other part, it made it look like it was going right into my house at my apartment in Chicago. The one on 83rd, I think Marshfield. I was over there, right behind Harold's Chicken. You could smell the Harold's Chicken at the back door of the apartment. And I shot that video on the back porch of that. But it was never a hard thing for me to just shoot videos or do anything myself. I got the opportunity to get a 4-track, a physical way to record, and it was on and popping from that day. But the original way I used to record was with a tape deck. Yep, I recorded directly into the tape deck or tape recorder, and those were the original recordings of freestyles. But when I got the opportunity to get like a DJ mixer, and I knew the input output on the back, I'll show y'all that too. Like the input output on the back of the DJ mixer. And I was like, yo, I could hook my tape deck up in here. So any type of recording device that existed that I could add into the back of that mixer, it was on. So I would record every album live. And I would think that happened from like 92 all the way to like 94, 95. The reason I go up to 94, 95, because I still kept doing it when I met DJ Watt. DJ Watt had a 4-track that I could use. It was over. It had the pitch control. Couldn't tell me nothing. And when he let me borrow it, I think I made like 20, 30 songs in a row, back to back to back, over any beat that I couldn't track out, because it was a 4-track. So it was a Porter Studio Tascam. And I took the multiple tracks, put the beat on one. He only had to show me a few times. You put the beat in that track, put another right there, it was over. And I think as I got to know him, we made UPS, Unorthodox Poet Society. Oh, dude, he got a rolling digital recorder. It was over. But I still used the 4-track because he would bounce tracks out of the analog 4-track into the digital. Never stopped. And for me, I've been recording at least since 87, 88, 89 into boom boxes and radios and all type of stuff. But I'm gonna talk about like films. This is a film I shot when I went to SFAI, San Francisco Art Institute, on Chestnut. The school closed. It has a Diego Rivera mural up there. So when you go out there to the bay, check that out. And that's at that school. I shot this film right here. And I went around and like interviewed people talking about racism and their views and perspectives on it. And once I knew that I could like shoot documentaries and all that stuff, I just kept shooting them. I have a ton of documentaries. I don't know what to show you all as far as like this little introduction test, because once I do this, I'm going to let people on Instagram and the other places online that care about this type of stuff know that I'm live. And that's organizational behavior. And it's the same color as the book that used to be on my father's shelf. He was a social worker, and he worked with people with alcohol addictions and drug addictions and things like that. That was his study. And organizational behavior was one of the names of the book. And I learned about case studies and feedback and all that type of stuff. I literally just made an album out of it. It's a type A personality, specialization, concepts and communication and interest groups, halo effect, contingency. It was only a few people on this album. Free speech. She was down with Quasar them. And Quasar is Outer Limits and Centric IE. Yoda was on here. And I think I produced everything on here except one beat. And Pugsley is on here. And Psalm is on here. Psalm 1. Pugsley Adams. 2001. I will talk about most of these albums. Interesting, back to that Bay Area, because I could tell that's where this collection of stuff is coming from, that area. In that time period, I got on this album with my man Unagi. Our first album we made was live from San Fran. And he just gave me a bunch of beats and I made like a live album from it. Very eclectic, raw album. When I find that, and this is the main point of me showing you all of this. Everything was physical. I never had a bunch of digital releases back in the day because it didn't exist. But once digital existed, I like added it. But I always kept digital, like, you know, just the small part of making music. The main part was to get on vinyl. The next part was to get on a CD or a tape, you know, just to keep the collection consistent on a physical type of output device, you know, for somebody to collect. Oh, snap. iBook Story. My documentary. I probably made 3 series of this documentary, and I couldn't tell you what happens on any of them because I haven't watched them since I made them. It's going to be elements of me talking about that too, where I think history is something you just do and you carry on. You let it happen and carry on. The song I'm on that Unagi album is called The Making. That song is also on Most High Definition. I think that's what it's called. Most High Definition, because it was like a play on high definition before all of the HD. This was right before HD. So right as HD was coming in, I was like, I'm the most high definition. Like, oh, snap. I don't see the date on here. Taiwan, I have to let me know the date. Like I told y'all, it's all about the music. So this was the final mix that we sent to Domination, to Fisher, for the It album, Infinito in Taiwan. The reason I always get this album props, if y'all ever see me perform, I perform most of these songs or some of these songs, because Taiwan was one of the first people that worked with me that made me remember the whole album before I recorded it, because he knew I could do it and he knew it would sound better. Memo and Taiwan, if y'all know both of those people, you would know they have something in common. And it's a niche. It's a certain way of doing things that should go right, and I respect that. But we made low-income housing, and we walked all around Woodlawn, Hyde Park, and Washington Park shooting all the videos. We was over by the lake, and we recorded it because he stayed at Hyde Park. And I can say this, he stayed literally on the, I don't know the name of the street, but he stayed. Obama House was like right behind it. So that's a fun fact. And we recorded that there. And I helped him carry all of those records he have into his U-Haul truck right after we recorded this. And I'll never forget that day because he has a lot of vinyl records. And I hope he remembers and one day wants to help me move my stuff, because I helped him move all those vinyl records. Yes, I did. And we had the artwork for It, Infinito in Taiwan. Dope. Oh, snap. Stop playing, dude. So a lot of times when I make a record, I make so many records, I would have like an extra record of songs. So that's what this is. It's literally the leftover songs from working with Mix Massacre, the record players, and Moldman at the time. And yep, because it's made in Heaven Studios, that's Mix Massacre Place. I couldn't tell you where up. To me, it was up north, but by where I couldn't tell you. I got to ask them, but you used to have to get on the train, get over, get off, and walk around, cut through some dudes that will let you know you're on the wrong block. This is around 2002. Album completed 6/10/2002. I was better with dates back then. Man, I had the date on there to a T. And these were just the leftover songs that weren't going to be used. Record players. I did a few songs with them. I put a snippet of one of the songs that was on the Moldman compilation, the Death Wish Banger. I think I just put my verse on there because, I didn't want to use other people's stuff. And the rest of these songs are literally like remixes and leftovers that weren't used on other albums. Man with Hue EP. A lot of people don't get that. Cool D probably got a lot of them, but he don't have all of them. Like I'm the only person who have some of the originals, and the people who were able to keep up, let's say from like 2002 to 2010, 2009 and 10. That's the reason I'm giving that date, because at some point it was a cutoff. Like, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough for you all. And this was one of them ones right here, boy. I remade this album recently, like with a new cover, because that cover was so janky. Like, I used to just take pictures, because you can see, like, right there, it's Dusty A. Dusty A. Go to my old website or any of my websites and look up Dusty A. He was an important person in my life as far as making music, because that brother said, yo, Marcellous, INFINITO, you got to put your music in the catalog. You got to create a catalog. And from that day forward, I had a catalog, because I knew, if you listen to people and respect where people come from, they might have insight. So I had a lot of albums up to meeting Dusty A. I probably had like 40, 50 albums up to that point. And that was, shoot, how the heck did Dusty A get on this cover? So this is 2000, this 99. So I had a lot of albums then. I think I had my first 2 vinyls. And then, yeah, I moved to Atlanta. So this is an Atlanta creation. Made this, we lived in Riverdale. And look at a young whippersnapper with the Blue Jays hat on, knowing he do the White Sox. Look at the boy. The boy was still looking young, son. But you know, he gotta stay looking youngy. And then I got like the winter hat on, amplitude, modulation, frequency, sound. The ultimate goal with that title was to make an album that sounded like it was an old radio station sound. And I did it. I took all of the sounds from like a AM station, and I put like static in each song to carry that sound. One of my various producer names that I have, we created this one. Yeah, this was tripped out. But I remade this album recently. You can see my old Memphis College of Art ID right there. I used to take all the IDs from the art colleges and stuff I went to and like turn those things into covers. Dude, I used to be tripped out with all this stuff. Now this album, I Elevate. Man. 2005, randomness. After the It album, that's what I'm figuring, with Taiwan, extra songs. So me and DJ What was supposedly about to make an album that didn't come out. So it's a few of those. It's a one song on here with UPS. And then a remix that Doc West did that was supposed to go on the UPS album. And then some remixes by Fifth Element. And then some songs that weren't used with Panic and Memo in Taiwan. And I actually have Cosmo in Taiwan. Now, the fun fact on this album for I Elevate and the song title, the lead track is called I Elevate. It got Cosmo in Taiwan. The internet, which we call like Wikipedia and things like that, when people present you on there, they mess up things a lot of times. And I don't really know how to fix it. But they have Taiwan Davis and Cosmo Galactus as the members of UPS. That's not true. They just happen to feature on UPS songs at times because that's what we do. That's what we do. We just record with folks. And, but dude, it's like a million CDs over here from every era. Oh, snap. Another thing I do, even more now than then, I would help people release albums. So that's your man Soul Child. As you all know, on the internet, as Mordecai the Foul. And he didn't really want to make a lot of these albums and stuff. But I would make CDs for people just so they could feel like, yo, I got my CD. Infinito helped me make my CD because he always makes CDs. So he made one for me too. So probably everybody I know, I've probably helped make an album just because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people. You know, that's what my grandmother taught me, help people. And I took some of his music that he had on my computer. He was transferring, and I made a CD for him and gave them to him. Hope he still got a copy of that because I got the copies right there. And this was like one of my first major releases that was distributed in most of the stores that we had in 2002, 2001, 2003, and 4. I was all over the world. This is how I got to places like Russia, Japan, Serbia, Ukraine. I had records in Paris, France, the United Kingdom, South Africa, everywhere. Almost every state in the United States. Mainly like, you know, California, New York, Chicago, Florida, Louisiana, Memphis, what is that? Nashville, St. Louis, Minneapolis, even like inside the Rhymesayers store when they had their store. And everywhere you can find music, this CD was probably there because this CD contained songs that I had with the Moldman, who was affiliated with a lot of people. And this album is Music with Sound Right Reasoning. This was a well put together album by my man Mix Massacre. He mixed this entire album. He was one of the first people who I allowed to do everything when I was an adult, not a young college student young man, but an adult. He said, man, can you mix this whole album for me at a professional studio? He said, yes. And we made this album. It was pretty fresh, but I'm not talking about any album in particular. I'm just going through stuff because I'm sitting here. Oh, just like I said, this dude did not say he wanted this album to be made like this. But guess what? I did it and I gave it to him because I couldn't even imagine his album just sitting there like that. Look at that thing. That's so fresh. Ooh, Mr. Scourge, there's your record, brother. 2000 pains.s. I'm not going to even do anything yet. But if anybody knows, they know. But you don't know because you don't have it. Oh, snap. Now, the one beat I always remember, I got a lot of beats from people on here. Man. So this record was a continuation to like my second vinyl. So we 2001, and I think the vinyl came out in like around that same time, 2002 And inside fact, when I was in college, you get like an extra check sometimes, and you could pay your rent or whatever you do with it. So sometimes I would just buy me some CDs or something and burn the CDs and make me some music and get creative with it. If that's not a bad thing to do, you know what I'm saying? But it was all what you want to call limited editions. Wow. I did most of the beats on here. Pyrotechniques. Introverted man. Oh Lord. Soul Child did a beat. Memo. Who did this one? It is a song on here featuring Fat Nice, Knuckles Bandit, and Pugsley Adams. Lord have mercy. I got a song on here featuring Mr. Scourge and Quasar from Outer Limits, like I said, because Quasar came over the crib at the beach house. It was created by my man Ross, my cousin. He called it the beach house. How long have I been on here? This is a test, and I don't, not that long. So I'm gonna get off here in a few minutes. But yeah, the beach house on South Shore in Chicago. That's where we recorded this. Very miniature writing on here. Didn't understand scaling on Photoshop at this point in time that much, at least for making the inside of a CD cover. I had the front down pat. But this thing had my email on here and my phone number. I was tweaking. And definitely rest in peace to my cousin Sean and my Uncle Maine every single time. But look at this tripped out CD, y'all. This thing, I wrote that on there with whiteout. This is one of my favorite CDs, though. Impatient 25, The Black Scorpion. I used to tell everything that happened. I put it in music. I remember this young lady I knew from New York. She heard my music. And this had to be Napster, around Napster time and iTunes when it first came out. And she said, I sat there and listened to all your music one time, and you always talking about your relationships and the different things you go through. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. It's like a release. It's a way to get it off your chest. That CD, I just wrote it on there. So these albums were really tripped out. And I definitely have to listen to some of these. Because I think the last one I made, MF Grimm put it out on his label. And I will find that CD and let y'all know about that one of these days. But this, how those albums built up. It was called This Is Not a Listening Party. And I would literally take what I love and put it on there on the cover, because it was like a mixtape. And I did have different people mix them at different points in time, but I would get people's songs and they would literally let me put them on here in compilation form just to give out in Chicago or whatever, because we didn't have the internet back then. So we used to literally like share things hand to hand. And I have Prophets of the Ghetto, Soul Child, Insight, MF Grimm, Verbal, Quasar, Dino Spectrum, Mr. Scourge and Ill Individuals, Infinito, meaning myself, that's me. Infinito 2017 and Doc West, Truth Universal, New Orleans Finest, New Orleans, and then Taiwan Davis and Akbar. I got Akbar on here. Rhyme Fest, Cosmo Galactus, Black Rain. I got Pugsley, Psalm, Taiwan, and Lord 360. So I think that's an Acrobat song or something similar. I don't know. And then Long Shot and Diverse. Mr. Greenweeds and Rita J. Ryan Officer. Nova Kane and Wayne Live. I definitely had to ask Nova Kane for this. And Bizarre Sinister. And I know I asked him at WHBK. So yeah, I would literally like anybody, like everybody. Totally collaborative guy here. because I think you should work with people. Now I know this thing never came out. I could bet my money on that one. But this is how this works. You go to school for graphic design, right? And they let you use Photoshop all day. You're in college, you pay a lot of money. So I used to just make covers for things that never were going to happen. And this is one of those things that were never going to happen. But you never know. So you got to have a cover in case something do happen. Guess what? You got a cover. In the back of that cover is probably at DJ Nobly Nobe's house, because I'm writing the lyrics. And that's the point of me and Cool D. We were talking about this because all of these albums have a backstory, and I definitely want to add some insight to them. Look at that. That's just ridiculous. When you just stick a sticker, because y'all have to comprehend this. This is literally, I know this CD has to be old because you bought the CDs from Walgreens or something to the best of your ability, and you burn them to the best of your ability. So this was one of the early burns of Continuous, because I had a CD burner that would burn live from tape. So I burnt the stuff, I plugged the RCA jack in the back of it, and it will literally do a live burn track for track of the music that was on the tape. So this was one of the first live burns of Continuous. And the reason I know Continuous was only made analog because it's fourth, fifth, and sixth generation static on there. And for those that know sound and music, fourth, fifth, and sixth generation static is pretty bad. And to move it to a CD is just compressed sound that sounds like ridiculous. But yeah, Continuous is definitely one of those albums. I had another album I had that was I definitely want to talk about. Oh, these are the art files to Unenthusiastic Ebony Brown Soul. The reason I know this album is some loving time, boy, because I was living out there in the Bay Area, and yeah, those were some loving days, boy. I'm telling you. Unenthusiastic Ebony Brown Soul. And I finished this album in Memphis. God dog it. Definitely one of the ones. I think one of my first albums I ever made. This is probably just a copy of it. When I switched to the 2007, you see it say 1998? This is one of the first main CD tapes that I made. Like when I first got to Chicago, this is what I was slanging. Keep on slanging, keep on slanging, keep on slanging. Like De La Soul, but you know what I mean. Keep on slanging. And then I was selling these hand to hand to everybody that wanted a tape. And this was originally only on tape, produced entirely by DJ What? 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 Yeah. And yeah, here go the original It. Here go a copy of that for you all. That was a tripped out album. We went all around Bronzeville, like I told you, Hyde Park, Washington Park, Woodlawn, in that whole vicinity, putting together the photographs for this album. Man, very detailed process working with Mr. Davis, the Taiwanster. And what else do you have? A lot of CDs from other people right here. Oh, Japan demos. I have so much music, dude. This is ridiculous. And I didn't even bring the cases. I got like these weird cases. This is what I was looking for. Good Lord, thank you. Show beats, because I got to rip these off because I need them. And then when I first met Cool D in the mail, so y'all have to comprehend, it was no digital transfers, because if we sent beats by the email, it would take forever to upload all that stuff. But he used to send me CD after CD of beats and beats and beats and beats and beats and beats and beats. And I know Apple Juice Water, that was one of his CDs. I told him I have every last one of his CDs that he gave me on spindles and stuff. And I have all the original beats that he gave me. And those are in the binders. Whoa. I'm thinking this CD. Oh, I almost broke something. Wait. Oh, can't break nothing. But what's dope about this one? This Fat Nice group. But that's ill, isn't it? Oh, look at that thing. What? Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't get that. Fat Nice. Look at that thing. 84. 84. Dude, go hit up Fat Nice and ask about 84. Dude. Trying to holler at you. You really don't comprehend. Yeah, Deliberate Enigmas. Deliberate Enigmas is another group. I just saw some paperwork about Deliberate Enigmas. I'm going to try to reach over here and grab it. I hope I don't knock off the computer doing this. So, Kaiser. I called him Kaiser Sose. Deliberate Enigmas is me and him. And this is how we made the cover. Like I would literally do this as a fold in into a CD case. Literally. I don't know if that art was whatever. But that's the art. Deliberate Enigmas. Definitely something you can't find. That's one of the lifelong folks from over there in one of the Slavic countries. And brother used to send me mad beats, dude. He sent me so many beats. I still haven't used them to this day. So I would make 1,000 groups with just me and him, or me and things we created. But I don't like putting people's stuff out when I don't have direct contact with them. So I don't put that stuff out. It's just sitting somewhere. Oh, snap. Look what's just sitting right here, chilling. Chilling on the chilling, like Prophets of the Ghetto. Look. Oh, man, it's broke. Wow. I hope it still plays. Look, it's broke, y'all. Dang. It is the original version of Vortex of Distortion. Only Cool D knows. But I know. But you don't know. You don't know. And then sometimes when you get these CDs printed, like if I have a misprint on one of these things, I literally have to go to Kinko's and remake this thing live because it will slow down the process if I have to get the CDs redone. So I would take all the old ones out and just sit them to the side. And these were the original. I think I was trying to do some remakes. This is the original card, J card that came in the back for American Poverty, Frey and Tay. Please go online and look up Frey and Tay and look up my animation for Frey and Tay. It's an entire cartoon series mocking poverty and the suffering that we have to go through as people in this country at times. And it's sad. 2015, Frey and Tay. I sat around for about 4-month, 5-month period, hand drawing an entire animation. Tedious. Only other animation I did like that was something I submitted to a film festival. They didn't like it. I think it was too African and black. But you get it. But that Vortex of Distortion. Oh, look at that. Same difference when I'm saying we make the covers like that. Like you have to go to Kinko's and make the covers. You just make them, slip them in the jacket. This was the promo import for Rid the Stereotypes and Program Slaves. I had Derelict on the beat from IMC. Shoot, Jago Moonshine. Nakeba, Raven. I had like a lot of poets on here. Yeah, this album was tripped out. Y'all don't comprehend. It's just too much. TV. What else, dude? But that's pretty much what I'm gonna do when I come on here and do that. I'm gonna talk about all of these mini albums to the best of my ability until I don't want to talk about them anymore. And I'm gonna, wow, this is something that came out on Fat Beats, a 7-inch, and this was how I printed the prototype for the cover. Tell me that's not tripped out. And this, yeah, this one I got back from France. I think I made like 13 albums in a row in like 2012. But everything in life, what the boy say, Tash, every move is documented. Every move is documented. It literally is. It literally is. And I got tapes. I gotta do this, like the knots. And I don't know if this is copyright infringement. We have 41 minutes. I used to sell mixtapes, but now I'm an MC. Dude, it's Dr. Cinch. I met this dude. I remember I did a show in France. Dude popped up at the show. I'm like, yo, you the real life Dr. Cinch? He like, yeah, it's me, son, it's me. Like, all right. I haven't seen dude since, man. What's up with you, man? And then qualified professional. This is a, yeah, this is the in the car mix of qualified professional. Oh man, Solomon Kane. These are other rare albums that y'all will never find. So me and this guy, Solomon Kane, from across the pond in the UK, we made a bunch of music that nobody knows about because he would literally make it, and this would be his UK version. Or let's say me and Unagi made an album, and this would be like what he gave away or what he sold. Dude, I'm trying to holler at y'all. People, you do not comprehend for the TV show called YouTube. So let me just let y'all know that I'm going to do this as many times as I can. And I'm going to talk about all of these records. And I'm not going to talk about 1,000 records that'll never happen. Because like I said, some of them don't come out. And this is one of those ones. I know it didn't come out. And for me to tell you what the heck is on here, I'd be lying. Oh, snap. Burger King used to give away free blank CD, your music on a CD or whatever. And what I did, I go get a whole stack of them joints, and I would literally put like my master files on here. And this is how I kept them, because you could slide it back in there and seal it up. See, it's sealed up. It's like it haven't been opened. This for Rodney Dangerfield. What? And I know I have a stack of those. Here go another one. What the heck is this? This is a 12/24/2004. Oh, it's more to Rodney Dangerfield art. Because when your hard drive burned out or it used to crash, you just put it on something like this. That's for To Know American. That's a master CD. Like, you get the album done. Oh my God. Another UK brother, Two-Band. So I met this dude. Where the heck are you, Two-Band? This dude used to take the beats and make his own music over people's beats. I said, let me put Two-Band on some real records so he can make a real record. This dude over here tweaking. He's just taking my beats, taking people's beats and flipping them to his own advantage. Like my man Thingamajig G. But this is one of those original UPS joints y'all will never get. 2003. Look at that thing. What? That boy, what? Put that spray paint on that thing, boy. Goofy, fool. You're not ready for this. Y'all screenshot people. You gotta stop that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's wrong. Dude, it's 1,000 things over here. I can't lie to you. Oh, snap. So let's say the CD, y'all can find some of this stuff on iTunes, like Timeless and YouTube. make sure you all start combining my distribution with this page. It's the same guy, okay? So don't block music if I play it. It's my music, okay? Okay, thank you, YouTube. It's me. We're not two different people. We're one person, okay? Infinito 2017. It says it up there or over there somewhere. But like when I made Timeless, yeah, it was on a 4-track Tascam with the pitch control. Gotta have a pitch control. So when you do your background vocals, you can make them sound like you chopped and screwed, like my man DJ Screw coming out of Houston. Oh. But yeah, so I would make these albums and dump them over to the CD. And this was like a remake, what I call a master of that, because I know it was probably live from the CD, from the tape to the CD. And you have to be an equipment person to comprehend how all of those processes work, because that's not what I'm going to be on here doing, teaching y'all about process. I'm just going to be talking about these albums. See what I mean? This is the original tape master for volume 843. Volume 843. And we used to take the tapes and literally put it in the tape duplicator, put it in there. You just hit that button and it'll make you a bunch of tapes. You know, dudes didn't come out with no tapes. I'm trying to tell you, dude, y'all did not come out with tapes. I'm trying to explain this to you. Look at this. This is some old at my father's house looking stuff from the documentary. That's that CD I held up. And this is definitely an interesting version of that one, because Kinko's. You got to go to Kinko and cut it just like that. You just cut it. And you fold it and put it in there nice and neatly. Slide it in there. Didn't have a little plastic. Didn't have a plastic. Just got to sell it just like that. $10. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Bill. Sam, get yours. You got $9? Here, it's all yours. I'll take $8. You go over there to Burger King and get you a sandwich with that other $1. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. And that's how we ate when we was in college and stuff. And that was the one. Nobody has. They be wanting this. Some dude online tried to pay me $1,400 for one of these. Dude, tweaking. And it's the original. Look at that thing, boy. Look at that thing, boy. See that date? That 1997? Ooh, even if y'all screenshot, you don't get it. You wish you had it. 4-track mishaps. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say. Cool D said, "Don't say nothing." He said, "Don't." That's it. He tapped me. Don't say nothing. Oh, and just like that, No Love in My Circle CD that I held up. I'm trying to explain this to you. Everything was on the tape at first, and even the singles, because at the radio station, you still could give them a tape, and they'll play it. Shoot, Kevin Beecham. Now, Third Rail not gonna pay no tape. You had to have vinyl for Third Rail, and I would say I've been giving Third Rail vinyl. I gave it vinyl for like 15 years, and through the Culture Power time, I've given him vinyl for Columbia College Radio, and Kevin Beecham was at Northwestern, and JP Chill was at University of Chicago, and then New York, WNYU, whatever station in California, what's the name of that school? Stanford, all these places. Double Helix. This thing never really came out either. That's me and Fat Nice, son. Y'all don't. That's it. I'm trying to explain this to you very lightly, very lightly, very lightly. Calm yourself down. Eat your bacon bits. I know y'all got bacon bit sandwiches that you love to eat, but you don't have that Fat Nice and Infinito. Look at me, just posing. The boy posing. Got a little Chicago mouth. Ooh, that boy, ooh. Look at him. Double helix. That thing rare right there. That's rare. More. Oh, that's the same documentary. Oh man, I got some more tapes. This is not gonna be cool. Another rare. Look at that thing, boy. Can't tell you yet. I can't tell you. I'm just gonna just show you. Remember the continuous? So continuous probably had like many covers. Because the simple fact, if you go to Kinko's, I'm gonna show you something interesting. You just get the color paper. Now you got color tapes. There you go. But even the tapes, TDK joints, you just go to Walgreens, like 6 of them in the pack. Like tell the lady, oh, give me 4 packs of those right there, son. 4 packs. I need 4 packs. You go home, and on your regular component set, you just dupe them like that. But if you got a tape duplicator, you won, B. You won. So the one guy who had the tape duplicator was DJ What. So I had to go all the way to Memphis, make some more tapes. And then I went back to Chicago, and I think this had to be when I was at Northern Illinois University. If you nosy and you really know everything on the internet, and you make Cosmo Galactus and Taiwan Davis members of UPS because you're so smart, then you know I went to Northern Illinois University when I made Continuous. And I think I got my first PK beat from that. PK gave me a beat. Look at that thing. This is the original tapes. Like as tapes start dwindling in sales and the stores want to see these were like the last few tapes that I had. And I always kept those because like even this one, oh gracious, please. I don't even want to explain the version of this tape. Because I think one of them is Nephew of Frank and one of them is another label. If anybody on the internet can figure out what that is, you is a G. Because I'm not going to tell you. Oh my God, I got more tapes. I used to sell mixed tapes. But now that's the original Continuous. You see how it's so phony? Look at that. So what is underneath that cover? Look at that. Look at that. This dude, Wild Hundreds. And I'm definitely from Roseland, but I'm definitely Wild Hundreds. You see it? Look at that thing. Look at the bottom of it. This dude just went in Kinko's and said, oh, snap, I'm going to make a whole nother tape cover. So I just laid the other one over the top. Bam. It's real. It's not a fake. This dude just said, I'm going to put that on top. Then I'm going to put that on the bottom. And then, bam, got you a tape cover. And we did the same thing with the inside. Look at that thing, boy. What we at, 53? We need to get off the air. Now we on the air. This is the best information y'all gonna get from this dude, Infinito 2017, ever in your life. Better take it. He don't do this. I hope that phone number doesn't work anymore. Wow, 88hiphop.com. Wow. Wow, this dude is old school. But I'm not an original documentary tape. The reason we know it's different than the other ones, look at the inside of that. This is the Chicago version. This is the Memphis version. The original. Run and tell your mama. And then you could tell because the fonts are cleaner on one. Look at that. Look at that. Look, that's tripped out. Oh, the master. How can Continuous have a master? You know why it can't really have a master? What did I tell y'all in the lesson? Go listen back. What did I say? It's 6th generation. Yes. Oh my God. So yeah, we really foul. I'm not gonna show this one. I'm gonna hold this for you. Get your screenshot on for that one. Whatever you just saw, that's what you saw. But this is the original documentary. So I think the first tapes, we probably had 10 or 20 of them. You know, whatever we could do, that's what we had. These don't exist no more at all. This is the only one that exists in the sense of the Chicago version because that's where I was at. But the original Memphis joint, nope. I remember I was in the post office in Memphis by the airport, and I had known of Tommy Wright III, just in passing, but we met each other, blah blah blah. He was selling stuff overseas, and I was too, in the mail, sending it in the mail. But we was just talking about slanging tapes from two different mentalities in a city like that at that period of time. Very interesting world. That's all I can say about that. Y'all don't get no free stories, but you're definitely gonna get these multiple styles combined. Multiple styles combined. What do you got? This got Tech Nine, strange music. I got stuff. What? Tech Nine? Who is that? Oh snap! You're the Rabbit. That's the original version of that joint, and you can't listen to that because I said some bad stuff on there that I had to take off. Oh my gracious! I go original amplitude modulation frequency. And what is this thing? This doesn't have me on it. So I just kept it. And that's one of the first CDs for 4-track mishaps. Now, this CD didn't never come out because I didn't want people to have this album. So whoever has this album is definitely an amazing human being. Because at some point I started to comprehend that I have to micromanage how I distribute this stuff hand to hand. Because my man Thingamajig G, he would get a CD and we would make a CD or something. And this dude, he did not care. I cared. I had to limit my street transactions. Bet y'all don't have one of those. I bet you don't have one of those. Ooh, Nelly. Yeah, he got them all. I could bet you that. Oh, he does. He definitely does. I'm trying to tell you. What is this? Oh, wow. Cool D. I know, son. There's another Atlanta CD. The Atlanta CDs that I made when I lived in Atlanta, y'all have no understanding how random I used to make music in Atlanta. That's where I met Cognito, and I used to get my vinyl put in Fat Beats in Atlanta. This cover I can't show you all because it's gonna pop up as if it is some nudity on it. Abstract expressionism. Y'all don't got that one either. I'm gonna save this other one to go with that unusual. But it's not a joke. It is real. I actually do have 2,000 something CDs, plus all of the different albums and stuff that I made as aliases and other things that I do. But the awkward part about all of this other stuff is that I don't mention it. And like I told you when I get on the air, are we on the air? What time? Oh, we run out of time as I close out. That I'm going to attempt to talk about all of this stuff to the best of my ability over the course of time, and the movies and stuff too, like Regular Black Dude Part 2, In Touch with Reality. Because Regular Black Dude Part 1, oh, it's right there. So these DVDs are like the copy I have to send to the DVD place to make the DVDs. But yeah, check this stuff out. And I'm going to filter through some of it as time allows. I'm going to try to move this out of my way so I can stop this screen on time. And I will not be organized, but I will definitely be respectful. Peace. And I'm going to say I am out when I figure out how to stop this. Here it is up here. I'm going to go on an even number and I'm going to say peace. It didn't stop yet.